Day 3 of the OTAs in the books. Don't have a lot of in-depth stuff because the media wasn't there, but I got some videos to show you and then a little bit of an update on the whole Jonnu Smith situation, and I give you an intriguing proposition. What is up, fans? How is everyone doing on this Friday? So today was day 3 of the OTAs. They get a little bit of a break, and then they have OTAs Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and then mini camp the 10th, 11th, 12th. Then they are gone for about a month and a half, and then they come back for training camp. Oh, I'm dying. I got a little update on training camp stuff. I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. Little update on the training camp stuff. I can't speak. So we'll get into all of that good stuff. So let's jump into this. First and foremost, I have to shout out DolphinsTalk.com. Last year, they did the Military Fan of the Year contest, and the winner won 2 tickets to the Christmas Eve game. They won a parking pass and $100. They are doing it again this year. They are doing the DolphinsTalk.com Military Fan of the Year contest. Now, here's how you enter. You go to dolphinstalk1977@gmail.com with your name and the military branch you currently serve or did serve, and a brief write-up on why you should be chosen as the Dolphins.com Military Fan of the Year and why you should win the contest. Let us know which home game you can and want to attend. The contest is only for a Miami Dolphins home game at the Hard Rock. The deadline to submit your entry is Monday, July 7th. We will announce the winner in late July/early August on the Dolphins.com podcast. He says winners were reasonable, blah, blah, blah. I will put the link for this below so you can go and sign up for all the military men and women that watch my videos. First off, thank you so much for watching. Second of all, thank you so much for being, for protecting this country, serving this country, doing the things you do. Great, great, great amount of appreciation for each and every one of you. So real quick, get a little bit of an update here. This is from Barry Jackson. He said the Dolphins will have 2 joint practices in Detroit with the Lions before their Saturday game, August 16th. Dan Campbell announced today. Before that, Fins will play at Chicago on Sunday, August 10th, after 1 joint session with the Bears in Illinois. Shout out to Alan Poupart for over on the Dolphins Collective, giving us a breakdown of how he saw it happening, and it is literally playing out that way, that you're going to have Chicago, and I talked about it when the preseason schedule was released, so you can go back and check that video out. We're going to have 1 game in one preseason, one joint, I'm losing it today, 1 joint practice in Chicago, and then it'll probably, that is the game for that one is the 10th, which is a Sunday, so that'll probably be on like a Friday or Saturday. Then we'll have that. We'll probably go to Detroit, stay in Detroit, get 2 days break, 2 days joint practice, play that game, come home. Then I think that's the training camp I'm going to, because I would assume they would have one practice without them, 1 practice, joint practice with Jacksonville. Then they play the game on Saturday, the 23rd, I think. So there's those deets. Now let's get into some of the videos that I have. These are from the Miami Dolphins Twitter page. This is Bradley Chubb. Please unblock me. Man looks leaner. He looks angry. We heard on Wednesday. Yes, he had a great day. Yes, it was against Hayes, the backup left tackle, but he still looks very explosive, looks very good. Aaron Brewer is your orange jersey for today. Great to hear offensive linemen getting the orange jerseys. Here you see the quarterbacks kind of warming up. Not much there. From what I'm hearing, Wilson is not having a great OTA so far. Again, it's very early, but his passes look off. They look like they're going into the dirt. Nothing crazy good. So, we'll see how that pans out. But as of right now, Ewers is not having a good OTA. But it looks like he might be a lock for that backup quarterback position because of the contract. But I would like to see Ewers get a legit shot at that. And then this is the boys coming out. Let's see if anyone screams.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
No scream. Nothing like Willie Gay Jr.'s scream, which was beautiful. So that's it. You know, like I said, not much OTA stuff to give you if the media is not there, because again, the media helps people like me out drastically when it comes to not being able to be at OTAs and mini camps. But like I said, I will be at training camp to give you on the field live coverage of what I'm seeing for the 2 days I will be there. Stepping up in the world. Hopefully one day I can get some credentials and really give you some insider information, but one day. So now about Jonnu Smith a little bit. Now this is something that popped up today, which I found to be very intriguing. This right here from Jordan Schultz. Side note, I was blocked by Jordan Schultz, right? And he blocked me back when the Dolphins were looking for a head coach, and he reported that McDaniel's meeting with them, and then Chris Grier wasn't even in the building. And I was like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I was a little rude. I was a little bit of a little butt. And he blocked me. And he unblocked me recently. And we had a chat. I messaged him. We talk. Sometimes he tells me things, and I greatly appreciate Jordan Schultz. But he unblocked me because I apologized. I was like, I was immature. That was really not cool of me to do. And he unblocked me. So there's maybe hope and praise in the world that Bradley Chubb will unblock me. We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath. But hey, Jordan, love your stuff. Anyway, he says, source, multiple teams have reached out to the Falcons about the availability of tight end Kyle Pitts. Nothing is imminent, and Atlanta would prefer to keep him, but I'm told it would take at least a day 2 pick to even spark serious talks. Now, a lot of people are like, meh, about the Dolphins potentially trying to get Kyle Pitts because they think he's a bust because of where he was drafted and the production he's getting. But if the Dolphins can get him for a third, or if the Dolphins can send Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta and get, you know, Kyle Pitts back, like a player for player type situation, and not give up any draft picks, I don't see that as a bad thing, especially because of the whole Jonnu Smith situation. Now, let's get into a little bit more of that. I want to talk more about that. This is from Adam Schefter himself. He was on the Pat McAfee show.
Is Jonnu Smith getting traded, Rap Sheet? How much do you, is this a serious situation here? Is this real?
I think Jonnu Smith wants to make money. It feels to me, and you know, there's been some teams that have kind of nosed around some veteran tight ends. Jonnu Smith is one, Kyle Pitts is another. You know, usually you get to this point, you can do some trades. They can happen. It's just a little more rare and a little hard to do. You know, again, it depends on how much a team wants to get rid of a guy. Like the Bryce Huff, Eagles are motivated to do the deal and basically move on for a player who didn't really figure into anything they wanted to do. It's different for Jonnu Smith because like he is actually a part of what the Dolphins want to do. Feels to me like he wants more money and would like to stay. You know, I know he wants a lot. We'll see what they end up doing. But again, going back to the Ramsey thing, like if they are able to trade Jalen Ramsey, like that's $21 million. Some of the $21 million will come off the books depending on how much they pay. So trading Ramsey might help Jonnu Smith get the contract he wants as well.
So there's the big, you know, the Jalen Ramsey domino will really tell what the Dolphins are going to do. On the Dolphin Collective yesterday, we were talking, and my brain's not working, and Omar Kelly made a big point that during OTAs and minicamp is when Chris Grier kind of gets an assessment of the team and kind of what they look like. And then that period in between minicamp and training camp is where he goes out and makes the deals, like the Jordan Poyer stuff and yada, yada. Plus, a lot of these vets don't want to go to OTAs and minicamp. So you might see the cornerback signings and stuff like that, trades happening at this point, because he said that's kind of what Chris Grier's MO is and what he does. And like Adam Schefter said, with the Bryce Huff stuff, he went back to San Francisco, where their defensive coordinator obviously was the Jets head coach, and they have that connection there as well. But it's an interesting situation with Jonnu because he's making about $4 million. He has no guaranteed money, so there's no security at all. He top 5 tight end in the NFL last year, set records for the franchise, and he's being paid like bottom 32 in the NFL. So he feels like he needs more compensation for what he does. I know there's people out there that people say, you know, play your contract. But then on the flip side, when the team doesn't honor their contract, it's, you know, here nor there. I will say this. I'm not against giving him a new contract. You guys know I would give him, I would give Brooks, and I would give Sealer new contracts. From what I'm hearing, that might not happen because, you know, Stephen Ross, from the rumors I've heard and from, you know, people I've talked to, has shut the bank. The credit card is donezo bunzo. And what that means is no more signing bonuses, no more converting contracts into this, converting into that, because all those conversions, Stephen Ross writes checks to save the cap space. Oh, we're going to take this and convert it into a signing bonus. Stephen Ross writes a check and he hands it to him. So, you know, there's no more of that that's going to be happening. From what I heard, Jonnu's making $4 million. He wants at least $8 million. He wants to double what he's getting. Will that happen? I don't know. It doesn't mean that, you know, Omar Kelly came out and he said something that gave me a little bit of like oh, okay. Which made me feel a little bit better. I'm trying to find it. But here it is. He said, folks, just because Miami discussed the trade with Pittsburgh doesn't mean Jonnu is being shipped out. This is a business football for both sides. Smith is under contract. He's 30 and not an every down tight end. Miami wants him, values him, but doesn't want to overpay. Smith is underpaid and wants financial guarantees. You've seen this before, Xavier Howard. We got 3 months to figure this out. And if not, he'll be traded. Again, you got to span before training camp starts. And like Omar's saying, a lot of things will get situated and figured out. So, you know, some people think he's not underpaid, you know, because he had one good year. It was a very good year, and he was a big part of this offense. Some people, like Chris Kaufman, who had a very good breakdown, talked about there might be a shift. You know, we played a lot of 12 personnel to 11 personnel, and maybe Jonnu is an odd man out for that. There's also the thoughts of if they send him to the Steelers, is there a possibility of getting Washington, their tight end, back? There's a lot of things that are floating in the air that make you scratch your head, right? Because there is the talks that Jalen Ramsey would like to go to Atlanta because he has the familiarity with their head coach, who was his defense coordinator with LA. And again, you could do that where you send Ramsey to Atlanta, they give us Pitts, then you send Jonnu to the Steelers, and we get like a pick back or something, like a 4th rounder or whatever. All of a sudden, there's moving pieces. And again, that will all come down to, can they get a contract done? Or can they discuss it and figure something out? There's a lot of moving pieces going on, not only with Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, but with the team in general. This isn't a finished product. It's not a good product so far, you know, from what I'm hearing. And again, it's OTAs, so it's very early and a lot can change and players can get better and they can work on their crafts and things could change. But, you know, I'm not hearing good things from Zach Wilson. I'm hearing, especially from Alan Poupart, he was saying, you know, yes, it's early, extremely early, but he kind of wanted to see something, you know, give me a spark, give me some type of growth. And he said what he saw on Wednesday was what we saw from the Jets. So he's like, it's not promising. But again, he wanted to reiterate, him and Omar time and time again, it's early. You know, it's the second day of OTAs. A lot could change. So a lot of interesting stuff that's happening. Again, Monday, the media will be there. I think Monday also Mike McDaniel might be having a presser, so we'll get more information. So, you know, Monday is going to be an interesting day. I'll give you all the news and notes after 5 o'clock. You know, I kind of wait because I want to give you guys the videos that they release so you can see some content as well as hearing what happened on the field. But one more time, Monday OTAs, Tuesday OTAs, Thursday OTAs. Then they get a little bit of a break. Mandatory mini camp for the next 3 days, 10, 11, 12. That's when it's get interesting. Will Sealer be there? Will Jonnu be there? Will Tyreek be there? Tyreek has already been there. Will any of these guys that weren't there for OTAs be there for mini camp? OTAs are optional. Minicamp is not. So it's going to be very interesting. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Again, link is in the description. If you are in the military or served in the military and want to join the Military Fan of the Year contest for DolphinsTalk.com, you might be watching this on DolphinsTalk.com because they have my content over there. And me and Mike are good friends, and I appreciate the heck out of them. So I will see you on Monday unless news breaks. And obviously Monday also we could possibly see a trade of Jalen Ramsey. So a lot's going to be happening. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you Monday. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.